Arise, minions, and batten down the hatches as we leave behind the safety of the Humblewood to check in with the crew of Dark Fortunes.
Hello, I'm Rory, aka Final Gambit, and I am playing Silence Furuiken, Level 2 Mapak Warlock.
Hi, I'm Mike, and I'm playing Mimir Elderbrand, the Level 2 Corvum Bard.
Hi, I'm V Muse, and I'm playing Sionnach MacTyre, Level 2 Vulpin Fighter.
Hi, I'm Nickelodeon. I'm playing Auryn, the Level 2 Servant Barbarian.
Hi, my name is Johnny. I'm the Dungeon Master. Welcome to the Dark Fortunes podcast.
I'm Lisa Chen, and I host Behold Her, a monthly podcast that shines a spotlight on women in the world of tabletop games. There are so many women to behold in this amazing hobby, and our experiences as female gamers are as diverse as we are as individuals. Through one-on-one interviews, audio essays, and panel discussions, all centered around a monthly theme, the guests on Behold Her share their unique stories as players, game masters, designers, artists, organizers, and so much more. Their words are inspiring, uplifting, and informative. Check out Behold Her Podcast wherever podcasts are found, or visit beholdherpodcast.com.
Previously on Dark Fortunes. Finally back on open waters, the crew's attention quickly shifted from land to sky as flights of messenger birds carried missives from the Serpent Domain. Missives that could mean the end for the Fool's Errand.
Silence. In the Mimir's Nest. What you see, probably a good quarter of a mile away from the ship, as if the ship is kind of tacking and making its way towards it, is a ship that is capsized, a vessel that is turned over. Its keel and hull are exposed to the sky. From this distance, you can't tell much other than that there is a large group of seagulls sort of flocking around over it. A large group of seagulls flocking around over it. There is looks to be a gaping hole in towards what you assume is the aft of the ship, because you can see the rudder. And you see sort of this weird sort of slithering sort of whitish shadow as it disappears under the water, heading away from the wreckage and away from the ship.
Captain?
Silence.
I think there might be a whale or some form of creature that may have toppled the ship that is nearby. I feel comfortable up here, but I just want everyone else down there to know, so you could feel comfortable as well.
Which direction is it going?
Away?
Which away? Front of the ship, back of the ship?
The Silence will just start pointing out to where he saw it last. Be like, that way.
Sionnach will walk in the direction he's pointing and look out to see what she can spot.
Captain?
Silence.
Less of a problem, but it is quite dirty up here.
Then come down.
Well, I'm just saying it's to note. Being the bosun now, I just feel like I should be telling you when something's broken or dirty, and it's a little... You know what? We'll talk about it later.
Probably for the best, Silence, yes.
I'm coming down now.
Okay. She's kind of like just like cleaning both.
Well, you do have a crew now.
Yeah.
You do have a crew, and you can't stick them on dirty duties.
Exactly. She's just chuckling that the bosun is locking onto the fact that, there's spot cleaning.
So,
Mr. Clean.
You look in the general direction that Silence is indicating, and it's to the sort of the north east. And what you see is you see the seagulls that are kind of like, dancing around, in the air, and they're kind of flirting, and you see some of them diving. And you see a boat, the hull of a boat sort of capsized on the water about a quarter mile away. And the ship is generally angling in that direction, but not directly headed toward it right now. You can see that the rudder is like standing up in the air like a fin. And there appears to be some damage towards the aft side where the rudder is.
Is this something where we could take the smaller boat and get a closer look if we wanted to without getting the larger boat closer to it?
Sure. I didn't know you had a smaller boat.
Well, didn't we do it to get to Barton's ship?
No,
we had a hired boat.
Right. So I think this is one of those points where I think we can hand wave and say, yeah, there's definitely a boat.
Okay, so we have a dinghy.
Yeah, you do have a boat that you can definitely row over there. So how are you guys going to deal with this? How are you going to approach this? Like, are you going to come right up, or are you going to Are you going to try to angle the ship and then drop anchor, or do something else to kind of
probably see it more as get the ship angled to a quick retreat or getaway spot. Position ourselves so we're in favor with the wind, so we can zip off if need be should something come up and show itself.
And so I imagine that Mac has an exchange with Dolan specifically to address that particular point.
Do you want me to jump in and look?
Jump in and look in what? The water?
Yes.
Well, perhaps before we go swimming, let's just be sure that we're not sending you into an early watery grave, because I don't know what it was at Silence so exactly. But it's concerning that we have an overturned ship and something swimming away from the overturned ship that was sizable enough for him to see it and call it to our attention.
Well, I'll stay by the ship and just go down a little bit, and I'll come right back.
How about this? How about we'll ready ourselves in the smaller boat. You can check things out in the water, and then hopefully we can get you back into the boat one way or another.
Okay.
All right. Be careful, Auryn.
I have an axe.
I know you have an axe and you use it quite well. I've seen it in action. But you do understand... Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I will fight anything.
I know. I just want to make sure you understand that you're not required to if you don't want to.
Oh, I want to.
Oh, then that's a different story.
I haven't fought in a while.
I know that feeling all too well.
And if it's a big challenge, then I can have my wine.
Agreed.
Somewhere else on the boat, Mimir just got slightly proud. He doesn't know why, but he's just filled with pride for just a split second. That's the real campaign, is Mimir corrupting Auryn and Silence in spite of Sionnach.
So Dolan kind of begins to make things happen. There's a shift in the boats and the way that the crew is kind of moving about, each of them doing their jobs respectively. But Dolan kind of comes up and walks up and says to Mac, "Are you planning to go over yourself, ma'am?"
What do you mean do everything myself?
I said planning to go over to there yourself, ma'am.
Sorry, I'm distracted. I'm worried about everyone right now.
It is unusual for sure.
And I don't like the fact that ship is completely upended.
I don't like the fact that we can't find any survivors so far. I don't see any in the water.
Exactly. That's not normal. Usually you'll see someone attached to something adrift in the water.
Absolutely. There's a lot of flotsam, but nothing else.
I didn't want the
no
others
bodies,
to know that. Exactly.
No blood. No nothing.
There's not even signs of fire or cannons or anything.
It is an unsettling situation. How do you want to proceed?
Carefully.
Are you going over, or am I taking charge of this?
I best go over. You take charge of the ship. Make sure everyone is ready to go.
Orders besides taking charge?
If it goes pear-shaped, you and the crew get to a safe port, and you have yourself a new boat.
Let's hope it doesn't do that, ma'am.
Agreed. But they're fresher to the water. I'm not. I'd rather be there for them should something happen.
Understood. And Dolan takes his position behind the sort of the helm, and continues to call orders and make sure that the ship is sort of kind of moving in a way and kind of positioned inside of the tide and with the wind and everything else for a quick escape.
Okay. And as he's doing that, she's actually going to start removing some of her more extra bits of her outfit. She takes off her overcoat. She takes off the heavier vest that she wears sometimes, and she's basically folding them up and dropping them over the rail. It's more the get down to just the basics. So if she knows she's going in the water, she's not going to be pulled down by heavier fabrics and such.
Silence. What are you doing?
Working my way down the rigging, going down face forward like a rabid squirrel trying to get down to the deck. Much akin to a rabbit squirrel, just a lot cooler looking. And unnecessary. Silence wants to make sure that he has all of his weapons on him, mostly the wakizashi and the his Masamune blade, and then not probably not taking the musket. I'm going to leave that up in the Mimir nest, and I don't want it getting waterlogged and destroyed.
How heavy are your weapons? I mean, your sword, your main sword is gigantic.
Yeah.
What is the weight of that actually? Like, how you carry it, and your ability to carry it is in part influenced by sort of the magic of your patron.
Yeah, it's technically, almost weightless to me, but on the outside world, I don't know.
Well, so
that's
that's
the conundrum there.
I think this is a quick aside because this is the first time we've ever had to deal with something like this. But weight-wise, does the magic of does the sort of the effect of the patron of Den make it weightless when it's on you, or is it only weightless for you?
I think it's only weightless for me, because I'm still sitting at 72 pounds with my packs and everything. So
interesting. Okay.
The sword itself is 20 pounds.
Right. Okay. And so, Mac, you catch Silence kind of like getting geared up and ready to kind of make way with you, and you notice the weight of the things that he's kind of moving. He doesn't catch you off guard, but
Silence.
Yes, Captain.
How familiar are you with the water?
Is this a hypothetical, or?
No, this is a legitimate question. I need to know your experience level here.
I can swim, and
Good.
I know not to trust the water in a storm.
Good. What about what not to wear in the water?
Stones?
And heavy armor.
Yes, I suppose so.
I know so.
Well, I suppose you're right. And then Silence will start disrobing his leather armor, leaving just like the purple and black, the black and purple trimmed clothing underneath it, and leave his leather armor up top.
I know it's unnerving and it's not exactly comfortable. I don't like not having as much as I'm used to wearing either.
Captain, I'm never unarmored. And then these black and purple-esque kind of not huge flames, but just like slightly in the background, just behind a coal that is like a little bit ablaze, just kind of surrounds my body. And that's the armor of Agathis that I can turn on at will.
Now that's a trick I'd like to learn. Good to know.
Or my armor of shadows, sorry, not Agathis. I would attempt to try and teach you, Captain, but I don't think it's possible. Not unless you accept Din into you.
And Din can go to hell.
I agree, Captain.
Right, so, Mimir.
We're going to cut to Mimir and find out what Mimir's doing.
Yes, love.
What do you say? Want to go on a little adventure in the water?
An adventure? In the water?
Well, in a boat in the water. Well, smaller boat in the water.
Oh, in a boat. Then yeah, fine. I don't have an issue being in a boat. One boat's the same as the next boat, right?
She'd walk up closer to Mimir and just sort of lean in so it's only his hearing. I have a feeling that this might have something to do with what we've been talking about before we ever got the crew on the ship.
Oh, I'm hoping so.
Guaranteeing on that one.
So, what do you need from me?
Keep your eyes open. For anything that looks familiar, you took records of all of our experiences when we touched that box.
I did. Will I have to go in the water? I see you're all disrobing in some fashion or other.
Let's just say prepare yourself so if there's an upending that she'll be fine in the water and not bogged down.
Oh. Fine. And he begins to take things off, but he, reaches into his highwayman's coat and, pulls out, a pan flute. He takes his lute off. He takes his bag off. He takes, there's a concertina in his pocket somewhere, somehow. He takes, a boot knife out, then puts a boot knife back in. And then he, looks at Silence and sees that he's taking the leather armor off. He's, well, don't let me get stabbed by anything, please. And he begins to undo, the toggles of his leather jerkin and slide it over his head. And then he, dumps his bag out, and you hear a loud clank of books, and a cookpot is exposed in his bag.
Why are you carrying a pot?
It's a cookpot.
You know how to cook?
Of course, I lived on the road.
I learned something new about you today.
Yes, I can cook in a pot.
Well, you could always put the pot somewhere safe on the ship.
I mean, he is fine in a pot. No one touch my things. See?
All right.
Seems fine.
If
And
anyone
they
touches
steal-
Mimir's things, I will make sure that you have double cleaning duty and double fixing duty.
Sionnach is trying her best not to guffaw at how confident Silence has suddenly become with his position.
I'm the bosun, damn it.
Silence.
Well-
Can I kill them if they do?
Of
No,
course, Senpai. No,
Okay.
Senpai. No.
No.
Captain still trumps bosun here in this case. No,
Oh.
Auryn, no killing anyone for touching someone else's property unless they steal it and maliciously hide it from the other.
Okay.
This entire time, Mimir's beak is just completely agape. And he goes,
If someone takes my things and hides them from me, Auryn, you can kill them for me. I don't mind.
Okay. I'll kill them.
No, Auryn.
This is going to be a great ship ride.
Auryn, remember our discussion? Check with me first. Always.
How pirating is so easy. You just have other people kill people for you and you take their
Oh,
things.
dear God.
This is great.
It's not exactly what
ready.
pirates supposed to be, dear.
I
What-
feel like all the stories I've heard,
What are pirates supposed to be?
well, you see, they have a ship and they go to other ships.
Check.
And they jump from one ship to the other ship,
We-
kill everyone on board and take all their things onto their ship. And then they have two ships and a lot of stuff.
Maybe you should be in the crow's nest.
Rude.
We get to jump on another ship and kill people?
If there is
I-
something dangerous on the other ship and they start
Or
attacking,
something you want very much.
yes.
Okay. Can I jump on the other ship when that time comes?
If I give you orders to, yes.
Okay.
in the background, Mimir's just shaking his head up and down.
She while Mimir's just nodding his head, she's no, shaking her head back and forth.
I'm good at
no,
jumping.
No.
I'm good at jumping and climbing and fighting.
All useful skills for a pirate.
He's quite athletic. Not a bad thing. How about we get into the boat and go investigate?
Okay, I'll go into the water.
Can I go too? And you
Yeah.
hear a voice coming up from the stairs as Milo kind of like, what? I heard it. You got on a boat. Can I go on a boat too? What's going on?
Oh,
What,
Milo.
is that a ship over there?
What do we do with you?
I want to go too.
Do you
I can help.
swim? Do you swim?
No. There
Then-
was an opportunity to learn.
All right, then, my dear Milo, you're going to be something called a liability.
Or a snack.
That too.
Oh, I want a snack. Can
No,
I?
no, you would be the snack. You would be what would be eaten first. The boosh type of
But-
thing.
But that's Orin's job. Orin takes care of me, right? Orin, you take care of me, right?
Yes, but Auryn might be in the water, and if you can't swim, he's not going to be able to get to you.
But Orin can't swim either.
Yes, he can. He just
went-
did.
I went swimming, was it today? No, I think it was
It
today.
was earlier, yes, and you did quite fine.
I never swam before, but I jumped in and then I did it.
Well, maybe I can do that too. Come on, Captain. I really would
Well-
like to go.
Maybe we could do that another time. There is a big creature in the water.
Oh my god, I have the best idea I've ever had. Since you're now the bosun, and you should do whatever that means, put Milo in the crow's nest. I can call it that. He's the loudest one of anyone, and he loves to talk. Put him there. He can shout out all the things he sees at all times.
Oh, that sounds like fun. Captain, can I do that?
Yes.
Can we call it the Mimsy House?
Absolutely not.
Let's just call
Auryn,
it the
it
lookout.
kind of more looks like a bucket. Auryn, it's a
Sionnach,
bucket. I think it's a
I
bucket.
swear to
Mimsy's bucket.
How about
I
Milo's
swear to the
bucket?
gods I will burn the ship
We'll
down
call
while
it
I'm on
Milo's
it.
bucket. Because Milo, you would do well up
Perfect.
there.
Oh, thank you. Can I go up there now?
Yes, please. Go right up there and tell us everything you see every 5 minutes or so.
Stay there as long as you like.
And if something else comes up between those 5 minutes, it looks dangerous. That's where you start shouting and get very loud and keep talking.
Okay. Thank you. Auryn, I'll see you later. Hey, have fun. And he starts to climb up the rig.
Bye.
Mimir leans over to Sionnach and goes, I am a genius.
In this case, Mimsy dear, yes you are.
Most cases, but I'll take it this time.
I'll give credit where credit's due.
And Milo gets all the way to the top, looks around and says, all clear from the Milo's bucket.
I feel like we could just end the entire podcast at this point. Like the whole thing's over now.
I want to make
won.
him a little.
We're gonna get so much fan art with Milo up in the cross.
I want to make him a little bed, and that like be his new house. And then he's like sleep over, and he has like a little roof, and that's where he sleeps.
Oh my god!
It'd be
How
adorable.
is Auryn going to make his way up there for a sleepover?
We haven't established. We don't know yet. We haven't gotten that far. When it happens, we'll see what happens.
As soon as
He'll
I
try
learn the
to climb
reduce
up there.
spell. I will reduce you as soon as I learn the spell.
Just a bunch of like small, like Silence, Milo, and Auryn hanging out in the Milo bucket.
You've destroyed Mike.
The Milo bucket.
We made it 19 episodes, guys. It was a good run. I'm glad we did this experiment. This was fun. This is the last episode, everyone. Sorry if you're a fan, but
We love you dearly, I promise. Oh my god.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
So Milo has made his way all the way to the Milo bucket. Dolan has the rest of the crew kind of like working, and positioned and ready. Some of them are kind of watching the water. Some of them are kind of like tight on the rigging, waiting for, to either release the sail or do anything else, basically in a position ready. The boat, the boat has been lowered, allowing you to kind of, begin your journey over. So I'm assuming the four of you are making your way down. The position of the ship is such that it's relatively close. We'll say within a couple of 100 feet, but not too close to it because the ship is still sort of listing and kind of moving with water. As you start to climb over and go down into the rowboat, you begin to hear sort of the creak and sort of like shifting of the wood of the hull itself as it's taking on water and dealing with the sort of the waves that are kind of coming in and where the tide is kind of moving it. And this is the first opportunity you get to get a little bit of a closer look to it. It's clear that you can see that the keel of it is starting to crack a little bit, and you can actually hear it crack even more at one point when there's a little bit of a swell, and the boat shifts and it kind of cracks a little bit more, and you can see that there's like this massive sort of break that's beginning to happen on the hull of the ship itself. And all around you, as Dolan described, there are lots of flotsam. You can see that there's cargo. You can see that there's rigging in the water. You can see that there are like bits of sail in the water. There are no bodies and there is no blood whatsoever.
Oh, Sionnach is really not liking that. She's actually going to narrow her yellow eyes, and you can actually see, even underneath the floof of her white fur around her cheeks, the jaw clenching. And there's like this very low growl that's starting at the base of her throat as she's looking this over. Almost like a innate reaction as she's going into a very keeping aware of things, and she has a hand on one of her blades to be at the ready.
Okay, just to be clear, again, I just want to make sure I understand this. So Sionnach has just her blade, her sword.
Both of them, yeah.
Okay, just both of them. Silence has all of his blades, but nothing else besides that. Like, it's not his armor or anything else. And Mimir is just carrying the rapier. Did you take the
rapier? He has the direct rapier on him. He has a dagger, and that's pretty much it. Okay,
and so as the three of you are kind of leaning the boat, getting into the water, the boat just kind of sinks a little bit more under the weight of Silence sort of stepping into the boat as his weapons, his larger sword kind of rests a little bit on the rowboat itself, and it kind of like the buoyancy kind of changes a little bit, and it's riding a little bit deeper in the water, but otherwise it's not too overwhelming or difficult.
I would like to admit that Silence would likely have 50 feet of silk rope as well, because he always has rope on him.
Alrighty then.
I know how to tie up prisoners. I've said it 1,000 times.
Well, you know what? I think we need a Dark Fortunes not tying stream where you can tell us all about the prisoners knot.
Oh, I certainly can.
I'm sure there's an audience for it.
That's Dark Fortunes After Dark. It's called After Dark Fortunes.
After Dark.
Love
Ooh.
it. Love it.
After Dark Fortunes, before Dark Fortunes, midweek of between casting.
Okay, so the three of you are doing that. Auryn, you specifically said you were going to jump in the water. Mm-hmm. Talk to us a little bit about that as they're getting into the boat.
So Auryn doesn't everyone's taking off armor and all that kind of stuff and getting ready, and then he just kind of looks and he's like, and then gets up onto the side of the ship and just goes and jumps into the water with his great axe, starts doing where the buoyancy thing. He sinks down, but he just starts kind of treading water and then looking around. And looking down and behind him and stuff.
Okay, so two things for me. Describe to me, number one, where your great axe is. Do you have it strapped to your back, or is it something you're holding on to?
Currently, how he has it, he has both his hands on his great axe, and he's using his legs to kind of do that, treading water in one spot and trying to use the weight to kind of balance it out. But generally, he's been thinking about it. If he uses the axe to swing, not as he's slicing it, but the other way where it's blunt, he kind of is doing a thing like that. He hasn't done it yet, but he's been thinking about it because he went into the water and he thinks that might help swim with the axe. But generally, he's just using his muscles to keep him in a good position to look at anything, or if anything starts approaching, get ready to swing and fight it.
Okay. Second thing I'm going to ask you to do is give me a perception roll.
Okay. 15 plus 3, 18.
All right. You actually just hit the DC, which is interesting.
Oh.
Yeah. So as you're kind of taking it around, the first thing that you're seeing is the debris, the sort of the flotsam that's in the water, right? Mm-hmm. You're seeing rigging that's just sort of beginning to kind of unravel and dangle down a little bit. You're seeing pieces of wood, kind of floating in the water, and you're seeing the cargo around it. And you're taking in sort of the larger sort of surrounding area. There is a significant absence of life in this area. There's not a lot of fish or anything else. Now, you don't necessarily have too much experience swimming in the ocean, but in this particular place, there's not a lot of sea life at all. There's you can't see anything in the distance, and so you're just kind of taking it in and kind of taking in more and more of sort of the setting and the scene. You see the two masts of the ship sort of pointing down, below, and it looks like they're extending maybe 40 or 50 feet below sort of the waterline of the ship. You see that there are some rigging that is beginning to kind of like float and kind of move, and you can see one of the sails is sort of billowing out, and it's kind of getting moved with the sort of the tide itself. And just beyond that, off in the distance, you can also see that white shape sort of swimming, kind of like this, kind of like doing a shimmy kind of a thing way off in the distance, and it kind of vanishes beyond. But there are no bodies down here, and there's no blood in the water.
Mm-hmm. The shimmering white body. What can you give a little? Do I see?
You don't see any features or details that stand out for you, but it matches what Silence had said to you. What said to the crew.
That happened a while ago, and it was taking off. So does that mean it came back? Like, had it, or it's like staying in the area?
You don't know at all.
Okay. How long ago, for my own mental reference, did I jump into the water from when Silence saw it?
Probably a good 10 minutes.
Okay. I'm going to swim back up. Are they in the tiny boat?
They're in the boat by now.
Okay. I swim back up, and I'm kind of like, what I'm doing is that like I'm using the axe as like a propeller, I guess, and trying that and seeing if it works to make me float. And seeing if swinging, because like he noticed that like when it's kicking, he feels like a lot of like resistance, right? And he's like kind of balancing out. So he's trying to figure out what that is going to entail, or if that helps shoot him up into the surface.
Okay, I'm going to assume that it works eventually, that it gets you up there.
Okay. And then when I come up above the water, I'm like, there's a creature, white, shimmering, swimming in the distance.
We all know that the worst part about playing a spellcaster in your favorite 5th edition fantasy RPG is having to write down all of the intricate details of every spell in your notebook, or flipping to the back of the book every time you forget what a spell does. But what if I told you there was a better way? Lucky for you, there is. Our friends over at Hit Point Press are launching their new Kickstarter for the Deck of Many animated spells. This new Kickstarter will include waterproof, artistic renderings of spells levels 6 through 9, as well as a fully animated tarot deck for all your soothsaying needs. Not to mention, animated condition cards if we hit our stretch goals. So if you want to enhance your level of play at the table, head on over to rebrand.ly/DFP spells and pledge for your very own deck of animated spells. That's rebrand.ly/DFP spells, and be sure to tell them Dark Fortunes Podcast sent you. And as always, happy gaming.
How far in the distance?
I passed the boat, and then I could not see it anymore.
So it's not immediately near us where it could come swing back around and attack. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
If Silence saw it a while ago, and I just saw it, it might be out there.
Yes, circling.
Maybe. But no bodies, or no blood in the water, just cargo.
Yes, I noticed the same thing.
But I am gonna go down below just in case something is approaching.
Just be careful.
I will begin fighting if something comes up. I don't have a way to signal other than shooting above the surface.
All right. You know what? You go down under the water. Let me take care of something above water. And
okay.
She's going to tilt her head up and like sort of like cup a paw next to her muzzle. Milo, as soon as you see something white heading this way, let us know.
White? What do you mean white? What do you mean? Is it what?
Big and white and in the water.
Oh, okay. All right, I can do that.
Good.
Was there just all around, or is there a particular direction?
Did Auryn point which direction?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she'd point she'd be like that way. Signaling.
Oh, okay. No problem.
Just make sure you keep looking the other directions too.
Aye, Captain.
We need to get him a bell. Like she thinks we can make a ring or something.
Okay.
I don't, but if I see something, I'll figure out a signal.
And that's how Auryn died. Just couldn't figure out a signal. Just like, I don't know what to do.
He's like under the water, scratching his head, thinking about it. He just drowns.
It's going to be interesting trying to send up a signal when you're under the water. Unless you have some sort of magic.
I only can think to project myself above the water and yell, something is coming, and then go back under the water.
That would probably be the best way to handle it, all things considered.
Okay.
So let's do that. And as soon as I see... No, I'm not going to phrase it that way. As soon as I see you pop out of the water, then I'll know something's up.
Yes. If I come out fast, if I come out like I just did, where it's normal,
then all's well.
Yes.
Great.
But I am going to go now. And it just leaves.
Perfect.
Just for informational purposes, what's your constitution again, Auryn?
18.
18. Okay, great, thanks. All right. So Auryn has dipped down below the water. What are the rest of you doing? How are you making this process? How are you going forward?
Are we still rowing? Or are we kind of floating?
You haven't even left you were just kind of floating by the boat. You haven't even approached, like you haven't even started to row forward. And I'm also curious who actually gets the job of rowing. I suspect it's going to be one individual who is not as skilled in combat as others, but I just want to make sure that that I know who's responsible for that.
Mimsy, dear, those wings of yours are strong, aren't they?
Real quick, I want to make a correction. My constitution is 19.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they are not. They are mostly for show. How far are we from this boat?
Like I said, you're about a good 200 feet, and there's a bunch of, like I said, flotsam. So there are large cargo containers in the water, and there's some other debris sort of around.
How long would it take us to row there?
Navigating the flotsam, probably a minute or two.
Okay, to get to
of swift rowing, yeah.
Okay,
like the swells aren't like dramatically bad. Like you're not having to deal with like really difficult water right now, really treacherous water. But what you are having to deal with is every time a wave or like the sort of the tide kind of moves forward and there's a swell or something, there's a huge sort of shift around with some of the cargo containers, and so some of them will bump in, or some of them might catch on on one of the oars, or like you might catch a little bit of rigging, and that makes it a little bit harder to kind of pull. And so it's a little bit of like navigating and kind of rowing one side or the other side kind of a thing.
Okay. Mimir looks to Sionnach and says, Mac, I have some elaborate spell work that I need to work through here that will allow me to see all things in the magical realm. So if you could just give me a few moments, perhaps the row over there, and then I can see if there's some kind of arcane thing going on under the waves.
How freaking convenient.
I don't understand. What do you mean?
Well, it seems every single time there's some heavy labor involved, you've magically find a way to not have to do it.
It is magic.
Isn't it, though?
It is. I know you're not familiar with it, but it is magic.
Mimsy, I do have a couple tricks up my sleeve. Literally.
Silence is just like awkwardly sitting there watching mommy and daddy fight. Just like trying not to look at either of them.
Look, Silence, I'm right there with you. I'm just like
Meanwhile, in real life, this is standard.
I'm sorry, I can't focus on that right now. I'm preparing spell work. And he just starts mumbling complete nonsense under his breath as he prepares spell work for a minute.
Silence, how about you and I each take an oar?
I feel like that would be rather inefficient, Captain.
Why is that?
Silence will hold out his arms and like pull on the sleeves to make the cloth go taut around his arms and like show just exactly how scrawny Silence really is, like, which is belied by his armor. And if you were to row faster than I, Captain, and in all likelihood that would be the case, then we would go about in circles. So you are the captain, you are the one in charge of the ship, so it would make sense that you would row the boat.
Actually, it's normally quite the opposite.
There's a moment where Mimir is mumbling with his eyes closed and just one beady black eye pokes open to watch this scenario, and he smiles through the words he's mumbling and closes his eyes again.
But if you would ask it of me, Captain, I will take the rows myself.
I think it would honestly be something that would behoove you to learn how to do these things.
If that is what you wish. Like, Silence will awkwardly get over to the oars and try and row this boat with a -1 strength modifier.
All I can think of is like sending a nerdy teen out to go do yard work, and they're like, the entire time.
Worst comes to worst, Silence. I just take both the oars.
That is fair. But I would choose death before dishonoring you, Captain.
I'm not asking for that at all. So, let's see how you do.
The most unfortunate thing about this is that my shame does not ask for your permissions, Captain.
There's no shame in admitting flaws.
You would have a lot of contradicting conversations with my father.
Your father wouldn't have a very long conversation with me at all.
I fear you would be struck down much too quickly. He is an intense fighter.
As am I.
And Silence will take the oars and goes like...
Again, Mimir's eye pops open to watch that exchange and then closes it again.
Saw that, Mimsy.
Spell work.
Mm-mm.
So, Silence, give me a dexterity check. In this particular case, the water is relatively calm enough that it's not about strength. It's more about your ability to coordinate and navigate sort of effectively as you're trying to get around. Give me a little bit of a dexterity check.
What about charisma? Shouldn't I be able to coerce the oars into
look
rowing?
good doing it?
Wait. Now, if Silence takes off his like sort of like top and like has on like the full on like tank top that you got going on right there, and like is buffing the muscles, even the weak muscles, I might give it to you for free.
No, that's he's way self-conscious about his image, so I don't think that'll happen. All right, dexterity. It's just a flat dexterity?
Yeah, it's just straight dexterity check. It's a relatively easy one, so.
4 + 2, 6.
Mac, you noticed that you may have made a slight error in handing it over to, the oars over to a young man like Silence here, because he's just not very coordinated, and it's taking longer. At first, you see something that looks like a each hand moving independently of each other, and then he starts to get it like kind of moving a little bit together, and then he bumps into something, and it's just like a shift, and he's trying to overcompensate as he's like trying to go one side or the other. Auryn, I imagine that you have to pop up and down a couple of times to catch some air, because like it's taken them forever to get over there as you're watching the boat slowly trying to navigate.
Can I help push them and not let them know I'm doing that? And also keep a watch. Like I'll like just hold it up and like have my axe on my back and then just kind of like propel them a little bit and make Silence feel like he's super strong.
Give me a dexterity check. This is a really complicated one.
All right. Oh God. I rolled a nat 20 and I wasted it on doing something stupid and I love it.
So describe for us the adaptation of Auryn as a part of what I just described about silence.
So as soon as like the boat starts like kind of like and he's like struggling and it's not moving that much, I kind of like just go, when I come back up I see what's going on and I dive down and I take a look around to make sure nothing's going on, and then I secretly swim over and go to the like back of the ship or the thing and kind of watch when the oars are coming in and kind of timing it, and then as soon as he brings it down I start propelling it forward and like and not letting him know, and staying under the water until they get to where they're going, and kind of push off the boat from there and kind of make it look like I come back up where I'm like, ugh, you know, I didn't do anything. But Auryn is secretly giggling inside.
So I'm not sure Mimir would have picked up on this. And Silence, feeling a little bit more sort of confident building, you know, based on the experience of that. I think the only one that's really going to take it in is Mac. And Mac is just probably going to just kind of shrug it off and just kind of let it happen as it is, helping Silence feel more confident about his ability as, you know, in the rowing. And so the boat, the rowboat kind of like comes up towards the side of the ship, and you can see that it's just the motion of the waves in the water making it, you know, the boat is rising and falling with the other boat, but it's a little sort of disorienting because there's like this sort of like shift a little bit between the two. The surface of the boat, from where you can sort of see, I imagine you're coming probably about midship, and not towards the back, but sort of midship. The surface of the hull is speckled with barnacles everywhere. Like there's like just different patches. The ship has been relatively well maintained, but it looks like it's been, you know, it hasn't been in dry dock for a while, or it really hasn't been well taken care of in, you know, at least a month or two. Perfect educational moment for a bosun, but otherwise, it doesn't really kind of catch you as like there's anything surprising about it.
Science will still take note, be like, I got to make sure that whenever we're docked, take care of some of these messes. Can't have this happen to our ship.
Okay. And so closer here, you also hear the shifting of the wood in the water, and you hear slight creaks and cracks and creaks and cracks. And then you hear a little bit of a sharper crack come from up above, and you can see that you can begin to see just above the sort of the curve of the hull itself, you can see a little bit of the crack where the keel is. It doesn't look like it's gotten too much bigger based on your previous understanding of it from the distance, but yeah, you can see that it's still continuing to crack. What are you guys doing?
Rowing feebly with the assistance, unwitting assistance.
Well, no. Oh, so what I'm saying is that you guys actually arrived to the side of the boat at this point.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
It's above the water by like how much would be sticking out of the water, would you say?
I would say that based on your understanding of it, the closer that you get to it... well, okay, let me step back for a second. Auryn, when you described what you saw underwater, what else did you describe? Did you describe anything specifically about the ship?
I said there was cargo and stuff like that, and there's no bodies or blood.
Did you describe anything about the ship itself?
No.
Okay.
Auryn wouldn't think it's relevant.
Okay. So, from what you can tell, this isn't a deep hulled ship. You can sort of see the lip of the sort of the side of the ship where the deck is, the main deck is, probably a couple of feet below the water. And you can see that like there's probably like a good 10 feet of depth or height above you in getting onto the ship. Like it's to be able to actually to come up onto the capsized part, you would have to kind of pull yourself up or whatever, using barnacles or whatever else you can kind of rig up to make that happen.
Okay, so probably approach it with the get the boat as close to the overturned one as possible, and it's more that she'd want to look at the crack to see if like there's a point of origin for impact and what it looks like, if it looks like anything she's seen before with skirmishes and whatnot.
Give me a perception check. I'll say that you guys have that the crew has, sort of dragged themselves along the boat, using oar and the hull itself to kind of get back towards the crack, which is about 5 feet above you on the hull towards the aft of the ship.
Okay. And hold on. I forgot to get my character sheet pulled up.
Uh-oh.
Oopsie. Said perception, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. So that is going to be a 17.
This stands out to you as very unusual. You have seen damage done by grounding, either on coral or other types of rocks or boulders. You have seen damage done to ships from cannons. You have seen damage done to ships when sea creatures, large sea creatures like a whale or something have kind of like bumped up against, or there's been some sort of impact with like another creature of some kind. You've even seen damage of ships ramming other ships. This stands out as incredibly unusual. The sort of the gaping hole crack that there is, it's more symmetrical than you would expect, and the wood appears to be slightly singed, almost like it's like a cauterized kind of a wound situation.
Would it look something like, were it higher up on the ship, it would look like a cannon had gone through it, or this is more of a clean entry?
This looks a little bit cleaner than a cannon.
Okay. Mimir,
Yes, love.
are you done preparing?
Oh, yes, perfect timing.
Okay, great. Then take a look at this.
He's going to stand on the tip of the prow, very George Washington-esque, and kind of peer. He's going to peer forward using detect magic, which allows me to see magic up to 30 feet and through 3 feet of wood. So he's looking through the boat to see if there's any
through 3 feet of wood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have two questions for you about this particular part of it, of the use of the magic. One is, are you focused specifically on the sort of the gaping sort of hole crack in the hull of the ship? Or where's the center of your focus is what I'm trying to understand.
I mean, the spell lasts for 10 minutes, so he's going to canvas as much of this boat as possible.
Absolutely. I'm not questioning any of that at all. I'm only questioning the
so initially
sort of like
he would be looking
where is
at
his
the
focus
hole.
right now?
Yeah. And then initially he would be looking at the hole.
Okay. So from what you're seeing here, this gaping sort of hole, there are slight remnants of magic, but it looks like it's fading and fading very quickly, as if it's like dissipating.
Do I know what school of magic?
There's not enough of a magical remnant to kind of like give you that.
Okay.
You might be able to take a sample of that and then go back and study it and figure out what the school of magic is after that fact.
Interesting.
But there's
okay.
You would need to do like forensic like analysis here. It's not just like an element of like, no, there's like a resounding amount of energy. There's very little energy left. You would need to use a skill set or some sort of like other skill check and spend some time doing it.
I just want to say I have a show idea, right? Dark Fortunes CSI.
It takes place in the Eberron world, right?
Yeah, CSI Dark Fortunes, and it's like Mimir, and he's like, the murderer looked like he cast a fireball, and then like, yeah, when you said forensics, that's where my mind went. ADD, hello.
We'll have James and Jacasso sponsor the podcast.
Yeah, there you go.
So he's going to look at this and then from there kind of scan out because he knows his time is limited and he can come back and take a sample at any point in time. So he's going to scan out and see like there was a giant creature. The ship is capsized. This is, per Sionnach, a weird way to capsize a ship. There has to be a reason the ship was capsized. His automatic assumption for why you would capsize a boat is magic. And he knows that magic can draw certain creatures. So he's curious to see what this ship was carrying, if anything magical at all. So he's going to continue peering around, trying to see any little blips on his magical radar.
So is there magic involved?
It appears as though this crack in the ship was created by some kind of magic.
That's what I wanted to know.
I'm not entirely sure what kind, but if I take some splinters back or some chunks or whatever back to the ship, there's a chance I can figure out what caused it, what kind of magic at a minimum caused it.
Well, then
Without further study, I can't from this distance.
Then let's get you a sample.
I'm curious to see if there's anything else magical about this ship. Why would something attack it? Also, do you, any motions back to the sails, do you indicate who you are by sails?
You can, yes.
Could we see?
That's a good
Perhaps
idea.
Auryn can get the sails.
Is Auryn still pushing us from behind?
No, at this point he's coming up. Yeah.
So
I imagine he's jump. You'll see him every minute or two. Yeah, because of not only the antlers, but coming up specifically for air to be able to go back down.
So next time Auryn comes up, it'd be just kind of not grabbing his antlers, but sort of tapping them to get his attention as he's coming
I would
up.
swim up and hold my hands on the side of the ship.
Dear God. Auryn, could you do me a favor and try and swim under the ship and see if you can see the color of the sails?
Okay. Do you want me to go inside the ship?
No, just the color of the sails.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll go do that.
Great.
Do you want me to get anything else?
Be careful. Watch out for ropes. Ropes in the water are tricky things that can act like snakes and wrap around your ankles or arms.
I can cut them.
Just be careful.
Okay.
Okay.
In that case, I'm going to continue looking around for more magical items.
And he does.
All right, we're gonna cut to Auryn. Auryn, describe to us what you're doing.
So I imagine the ship is how I think about it. The ship was at a 45-degree angle, right? If
no, it's
straight down.
It's been completely capsized, which is an unusual thing that you would see in general.
Mm-hmm.
Auryn
doesn't know that. Auryn.
No, I know, but what I'm describing is for the benefit of understanding what's going on for Mac. And in her confusion and Dolan's confusion as well, is that the ship is actually 180 degrees capsized. It shouldn't be this way. That's not how ships capsize.
Okay. Auryn thinks they do.
Right.
So in his mind, the captain either did not know how to steer the boat and steered it this way.
It's a good thought.
So, but he swims straight down, and he's looking around at the same time. He has not stopped doing that. And he's getting to a point where he can try to see the sails if they're able to be visible. I imagine they are. I don't remember if you said anything about them the last time I saw.
I did say sails. I did say that there were sails down there. I did not say what color they were.
Okay,
because that wasn't asked. And I wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of be able to do that, to explore that. So with that in mind, being closer to the ship is a little bit more difficult for you to go deeper because there's so much debris in the water itself, and there's rigging kind of floating everywhere, and there's the sails are sort of billowing out as well, causing a little bit of problem. So I'm going to need an athletics check from you.
Okay. I'm going to roll the dice first and see what I need to add to that. Athletics, that would be a 13.
Okay.
8 plus 5.
Yeah, you did perfectly fine.
Okay.
So it's a little bit hard for you to navigate at first, but you're kind of you're again getting comfortable with actually swimming, and you're swimming with the big axe, which is actually not a big thing for you right now because of a strength sort of a situation. But as you're kind of kicking away around debris and kind of getting around the rigging, you can see the sails sort of billowing out, and they're kind of caught in the shadows. They look a little bit darker, but then there's a shift in the clouds above, and the sun sort of shines into the water itself. And the color that stands out to you is a very dark gray or even black. Like it's on the really sort of like, darker gray sort of spectrum, or black itself. And then on the mast itself, you can also see that the color of the pennant, the flag that's flying at the top, is also sort of this gray or black kind of a thing.
Can I, instead of taking like a sail or anything like that, can I cut off the pennant, go to the pennant and cut it off and swim back up?
You probably could, but I'm going to need a dexterity check from you. This is actually, or even a sleight of hand check. This is going to be a little bit more difficult to kind of manage.
Sleight of hand, something Auryn is not trained in.
Well, you could, like I said, or you can make it straight dexterity check if that works for you too. So,
either I have acrobatics, survival, if any of those apply, but I can just do straight up dexterity.
Yeah, this is a little bit of an intricate operation here.
Oh my god, I rolled an 18 plus 2, 20. Dirty 20.
Totally. You absolutely are able to do this, right? Mm-hmm. So you're able to kind of like cut and just sort of like, rip it apart and kind of like tear it away from the thing using a bit of your axe and strength. And you've got the most like the most amount of like the fabric that you possibly could of the pennant. And I guess you're swimming back up to show it to Mac.
Yeah, but I'm also looking around to see if there's any sort of movement in the distance, or if anything's been kind of patrolling its territory or something. Okay.
You don't see anything at all. It's really, it's even to Auryn, somebody who has faced danger and been in really sort of like, intense situations. It's a little unsettling how quiet it is. And like in this particular case, it's not just like sound of the ocean kind of quiet. Like there's just the everything. It's like visually there's like nothing else you can actually see.
Okay. Does it remind him of when he was a child and he was in the void of his mind?
That's a really good question. Yes, the sort of the peacefulness of it all. Mm-hmm. It's an unusual sort of unsettling sort of situation, except that there's a peace in that silence and in that sort of like, there's almost like a serenity to what's around you. Mm-hmm. And you get lost in it almost. And then you start to feel your lungs beginning to have difficulty holding on to the air. And you have like an automatic reaction of like a blurp, and like an air bubble just kind of comes out of your mouth and it starts to float up a little bit.
Okay. I start swimming back up behind the bubbles.
All right. And I imagine you come up out and then right next to the boat again and carrying the pennant.
I come up to the side of the ship and I'm like, oh, and like grab the side and throw the pennant and go, yes, I got it. I got the thing.
All right. The sails?
That's the same color.
Same color. Mimir.
Yes, dear. What does it mean?
Pirate.
Oh, a friend of yours?
Well, I don't know that. We're not all friends, contrary to popular belief.
Well, I would assume with a pirate war going on.
Right. So, the concerning thing is that this is a pirate ship that's been treated this way.
The more important thing is all of the loot on the side of it.
Oh, dear God.
What if there's magical loot? All the gold?
What?
We could have all the gold on the ship, and then we could build the cabin where I could securely secret away all of my magical things and study on the boat. We needed money, and now someone's done the work for us.
Yes, and what if whatever attacked this ship comes after us? Because it figures out we're of a more piratey persuasion.
Well, it's not piracy if they're already dead, I think. That's just...
That's not what I mean.
Oh.
The ship is, upside down. So does that mean the captain spun the wheel too much?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
I do believe that's what it
Auryn,
means.
no. It means that something did this to the ship.
Oh.
Turning the wheel too fast wouldn't do that.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Well, I was going to suggest maybe if I spin the wheel the other way, it will correct it.
It's not like a toy boat in a bathtub.
What's a bathtub?
That's not a conversation I was expecting to have with you, quite frankly.
We'll cover that later.
Yes, that's probably
Okay.
better. No, this is something that even the most inept of captains or whoever is steering the ship at that time couldn't do. Maybe on its side if they hit something. But completely turned over? That's a force.
Can, like a creature do that? Like a big white silvery thing?
I'd have to see what this creature is, quite frankly. This is not usual or normal.
Okay. Do you want me to get anything else? There is cargo down there. I can start bringing those up.
I hate to say it, but maybe a box or two might be helpful to figure out who they were.
Okay.
No, before you... Oh.
He's a fast big boy, isn't he?
I was going to say perhaps we should all go.
You want to go swimming?
I don't really, but I assume that there would be a captain's log or a ship's manifest of some kind, and it would be nice to know which pirate this belongs to.
So just dangle some parchment in front of you and you're willing to get yourself wet. Good to know.
I mean, if it's magical parchment, perhaps.
So there is a big gaping hole in the hull of the ship.
Yes.
Like a big gaping hole in the hull of the ship. Like it's
Correct.
And we can climb
It
in, like,
is-
we could climb into it?
it is medium sized.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Silence would like to tie his rope to the ship and then to the other end of some errant piece of jagged wood on the capsized ship just to make sure that our ship does not float away.
Oh, look at that.
Silence-
You're getting the idea already.
There's not really anything that you can tie onto on the hull itself because, like I described it, it's a little bit smoother than it needs to be, and also there is this sort of like burned like area, like a char sort of like area around that hole. However, it looks like you could probably loop it around something, either as a part of the breaking keel, or you might want to try going inside.
I'm going to hold on to our ship that I have intricately tied and then make my way into that hole. While everyone's debating, I'm just going to be like, yeah, I'm going to go with Auryn. And just get into that water.
Oh, there goes another one. All right, after them we go. And she's off and going.
Now, Silence does have a little bit of a tracer as far as his body's concerned, because he's got that little black purplish sort of flame still attached to his body, because the mage armor is still going for 8 hours.
Bleep.
Mimir stands alone in the boat and says, well, this is an adventure. And takes a quick look around and then just steps off the boat.
Nonchalant walks off.
The three of you kind of dive in, or you plummet into the water, and for Silence, who's probably looking for something to be able to tie the boat off, you see that a couple of feet below is the lip of the sort of the upper deck, the main deck of the ship, and there's definitely some railing that you could tie it off on, some rigging that you sort of just grab onto.
Yeah, Silence will get rid of half of the air in his lungs and just kind of descend downwards and begin trying to tie up our boat to this railing.
I'm going to assume that Silence is able to do that easily. I'm not going to even have you.
Yeah.
For the rest of you, besides Auryn, who is now currently trying to get cargo, as I understand it, so we'll sort that out in just a second. Mimir, Mac, you jump in and you start to sort of find your way looking down, and this is the first time you're able to actually take in sort of what's been capsized, what's the underside of the ship. It is what looks to be I think it's what is called a brigantine, which is a 2-mast ship, right? It has the sort of the rigging and the sails are sort of billowing out, and there's various bits of cargo that are starting to get waterlogged and kind of beginning to sink to the water. You can see that the helm, towards the back of the ship is also sort of just like moving sort of slightly, but that there, for the most part, the deck on this particular ship is really just one sort of surface. There's not like a structure on it as well, but you can see that there's like a little bit of flotsam sort of floating towards the deck, where there is a hole that's sort of leading, into the body of the ship itself. But as you're kind of like taking it in all and kind of looking at it, you realize that there's something sort of blocking that.
Okay. So probably a matter of, she's definitely going to want to check that out a little bit more. So it's, swim over, pop up to get air when needed, and get as close to taking a closer look.
You can see that there is definitely like some sort of cargo container, like a big crate of some kind, is sort of like positioned over it. Like it's sort of shifted and off kilter, so you can see little bits up, and you can see that there's there is water sort of like up in the ship itself a little bit, but you can't see much more because it's very dark in there, right? There's a little bit of light sort of coming off from one side, and you kind of angle around a little bit. You can peer in and see that there's an angle to where the sort of the stairway and gaping hole for like going to the second level. So it looks to be like a 2-level ship, right? There's below deck, and then there's the cargo hold itself. Based on your sort of assumption about the way that the structure is kind of like set up, the crack in the hull is actually into the cargo hold itself. And just before you're able to, you have to go back and find an air pocket. You can see that it's not the only thing. Like you can see an angle that there's multiple things sort of covering that sort of entryway into the ship, the deck below. It's like kind of lodged in there with the stairway that's like built into the ship itself.
So if she's able to ascertain that she could get in through the other side going through the hole, right? Or did we go through the hole is what I'm trying to figure out.
No, you haven't actually gone through the hole
Okay.
in the main deck of the ship, right? It's definitely blocked, and it looks lodged. It's going to be something. It's going to look like to you. It looks like something like a feat of strength that either Auryn's going to have to take care of, or you're going to have to find another way into the ship.
Okay. So then she'd go to the surface and try and get everyone's attention and let them know what's going on with that.
No, the crack is actually the ship under the ship as it's like capsized over 100 degrees over the main deck of the ship. The gaping hole the hole that leads into to below deck, sort of the stairway down and the pathway there's a hole specifically. That is what is blocked, and there is stuff lodged between the stairs. There's a crate lodged between the stairs and the hole itself, so that it's difficult to move. It's not something like that can be easily shifted. The gaping hole on the outside of the ship that's to the air actually is available. Like it's open. It looks open. You guys actually haven't spent any time looking at that either.
Gotcha. Yeah, Mimir's not one for swimming. And so if everyone else started to swim down, he would have just swam over to the hole and like started to climb into the hole. He has claws, so I assume that makes it a lot easier to climb this deck.
Okay. So you are able to kind of grab and kind of pull yourself up and into like take a look in, and you can see that the entire cargo hold is just a disarray of debris. There's a couple of open, like cracked open and spilling out of like, goods or what have you. Like there's a bunch of cargo containers or like crates that are just like kind of scattered all around. You can see that there's an overturned sort of box in the hole that leads to below deck as well, or what would be the second level, but you're at the bottom level here. It's a little confusing trying to explain a capsized ship.
Yeah.
But you can see that it's mostly dry in this part of the ship in the cargo hold, which is a little unsettling.
Does he see anything magical?
You do not see anything magical at the the sort of like the depth of your vision, other than the sort of the trace amounts of the hole that's gaping hole that has been magically opened in some way. Here's the thing: the brigantine is actually an 85-foot long ship, so you actually have like a little bit of distance, to be able to encapsulate the entire ship. The sloop is something like 75 feet or whatever. So.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, I guess standing in this gaping hole, he kind of looks back out to the ocean, and just sort of shouts out, "I'm going in now," and he just steps in the ship.
All right, and as you kind of step in, you kind of like your talon feet kind of like sink into some sort of like flourish grain kind of a thing, and they use you're kind of like, it all kind of gets dusty on you a little bit, and you're kind of moving around. It's clear it's going to be really hard for you to navigate around this, so we're going to consider this difficult terrain. So as you kind of step in, you're kind of taking an assessment. The way up, essentially, where there's the stairway that's like sort of leading up to the roof of the ship, and the sort of the hole that kind of leads down is about 10 feet in front of you, and you can see that there's a crate that's sort of leaning there. That's like kind of tipped in a little bit. And then the rest of the ship, for the rest of the sort of the cargo area, it's all sort of strewn about and kind of in chaos.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, he's just going to start exploring this thing. I don't think he's going to be opening things up. Like, he knows where the captain's log would probably be like at the top of the ship where a captain goes, he would assume. But so he's going to start walking through this overturned hull, looking for magic. He only has limited time with the spell.
So you get a sense that there's something below you. As you get closer towards the sort of the pathway down, the hole leading down, and you're kind of like, you're moving yourself around and kind of bracing yourself as the listing of the boat just, kind of rocks back and forth a little bit, and you're hearing the creaking and the cracking. And so you get a sense that there's something below, because for the first time, there's not 3 feet of wood in front of you. There's not the exterior hull, the deck itself, and the stairway or any cargo. You're getting a sense that there's something on the essentially the lower deck to where you are. There's something magical down there. Other things that come up as you get closer to the gaping hole, this pathway down, you hear the sloshing of water, but you can't see it because it's really dark down there, and what little like light is going down there is ambient at best. And as you are, kind of lean in and kind of look around a little bit, your hand just kind of, your talon feathered hand just kind of grabs onto, a piece of of a crate, and there's like a sheet or some sort of tarp on it, and you begin to slip and pull a little bit, and as you pull, you get surprise attacked by a swarm of rats, and that's where we're going to end it.
Dark Fortunes is an unMadeGaming production and a proud member of the Don't Split the Podcast network. If you would like to learn more about the world of Dark Fortunes and get some behind-the-scenes looks, please join us on Patreon at patreon.com/unMadeGaming. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please take a minute to give us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. Thank you for joining us on this high seas adventure, and we'll see you next time on Dark Fortunes.
Hey, it's your pal Mike Shea from the website Sly Flourish, and author of the books The Lazy Dungeon Master and Sly Flourish's Fantastic Locations. I'm going to be hosting a brand new show on the Don't Split the Podcast network called the DM's Deep Dive. Each month, I'll be talking to a member of the D&D community about a particular topic of the game, like encounter design, tools for improvisation, and game pacing. You can subscribe to the show through iTunes, on Twitch, or on YouTube. Join me, and we'll all work together to make our games fantastic.